Hi, this is Munson from Munson Music, and we're going to talk about how you can play through a song called Wonderful Tonight by Clapton. And it starts on a G major chord, and when we play G major, first finger is going to go to the A string on the second fret, second finger is going to go low E on the third fret, and the third finger is going to go to the high E on the third fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds a G major chord, and it sounds really, really happy. And then from the G major, we're going to be going to a D major chord, and when we play D major, first finger is going to go G string on the second fret, second finger is going to go to the high E or the skinny E on the second fret, and the third finger is going to go to the B string on the third fret. And if you strum just the D, G, B, and E, just kind of the skinny four strings, that'll get you your clear sound out of that. That's called D major. And then from D major, we're going to be going to a C major chord. And the way you play C major, first finger is going to go to the B string on the first fret, second finger is going to go D string on the second fret, and the third finger is going to go to the A string on the third fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds a C major chord, and it sounds really, really happy. And then on our intro and our verse, actually, we're just going to be going back to the D major, and then kind of starting that over again. So from the beginning, you got G major, da da da, D major, C major, D major, G major, D major, C major, D major. We're going to talk a couple ways to kind of work through that progression. But one thing you could do to make it a little bit more interesting is add something called a strum pattern. And one of my favorite 4/4 strum patterns is a down, down, up, up, down, up. So if you took the G major and just tried that a lot, you'd have down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. So we tried that through our progression. Then we have G, down, up, down, D, down, down, up, down, C, down, down, up, down, D, down, down, up, down, G, down, down, up, down, D, down, down, up, down, C, down, down, up, down, D, down, down, up, down, up. So that would be one way you could work through it. But with this particular song, just because of the feel, though, a lot of times I like using a strum pattern working off a 16th note. And what I mean by that is, like, if you're tapping your foot and you divide it into two parts, 1, 2, 1, 2, that's called the 8th note. And if you divided it into 4 parts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, that's called a 16th note. And so what really kind of matches the song is a long down, 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 up. So what I mean by that is, like, if you took the G and counted 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's what you'd be doing on the first beat. And then on the next beat, we'd be doing a down on 1, down on 3, up on 4. So you'd be going 1, 2, 3, 4, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up. So then all together, you got long down, 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 up, long down, 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 up, long down, 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 up, long down, 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 up. So we tried that through our progression. We have G with the long down, 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 G down, 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 C down, 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 G down, 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 G down, 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 G down, 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 C down, 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 G down, 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 which kind of becomes our verse part. And then at the end of the verse, we're going to be going back to the C major. C, down, down, D, down, 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 G, down, 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 up. Then we go to an E minor chord. And when we play E minor, first finger is going to go to the A on the second fret, second finger on the D on the second fret. And if you strum all those together, that makes that E minor chord that sounds really, really sad. And then after the E minor, then we're going to be going back to the C major, and then the D major, and then we kind of go back to our intro progression. So just to try that all the way through, and we really kind of have two ways to do this verse. We could do it with the down, down, up, down, up. So just to try that, you have G down, down, up, down, D down, down, up, down, C down, down, up, down, D down, down, up, down, G down, down, up, down, D down, down, up, down, C down, down, up, down, D down, down, up, down, C down, down, up, down, D down, down, up, down, G down, down, up, down, E minor down, down, up, down, C down, down, up, down, D down, down, up, down, up. And then we kind of be going back to our intro part. And And that's kind of our verse chorus through the song until we get to our bridge part. And on our bridge part, it just kind of takes those things and mixes it up. So on the bridge, you're going from the C major, D major, G major, E minor, C major, D major, C major, and then a D major. So we tried that with our down, down, up, down. You have the C with the down, down, up, down, D, down, down, up, down, G, down, down, up, down, E minor, down, down, up, down, C, down, down, up, down, D, down, 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 C, down, 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 D. It's kind of a long down on that last one. And then you kind of be starting over again. So just to try that with the 16th note strum pattern, on your verse you'd have the G, down, down, D, down, 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 C, down, 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 D, down, 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 G, down, 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 D, down, 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 C, down, 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 D, down, 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 C, down, 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 D, down, 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 G, down, 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 E minor, down, 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 C, down, 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 D, down, 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 up. And then you'd be back to kind of your verse chorus with that G, D, C, D to kind of as an instrumental thing, and then we'd be repeating that. What I like to do instead, though, is work a finger style kind of feel. And what I mean by that is like on the G chord, if you go to just fingers, a lot of times what you would do is take the thumb for the bass player and then kind of line up index on the G string, middle finger on the B string, and then the ring finger on the high E. And so on the G chord, your bass note's kind of on the low E. So if you did a thumb and then middle, index, ring, and then came back middle, index, middle. So you got thumb, middle, index, ring, middle, index, middle, thumb, middle, index, ring, middle, index, middle. And then with the strings I'm playing is I'm going low E, B, G, high E, B, G, B with that. And then when you get your D chords, if you kind of do that same arpeggio but start with the D string on the bass, then you got thumb on the D, and then middle, index, ring, D bass, middle, index, ring, middle, index, ring, or I'm going bass on the D, B, G, high E, B, G, B. And then when you get your C chord, you got the A string for the bass with the thumb. So now I'm going A, B, G, high E, B, G, B, A, B, G, high E, B, G, B. And then you'd be going back to the D with the D bass. And then when we get to it, kind of in our bridge part, and in the last part of our verse, when you get to the E minor, your bass is going to be on the low E. So you got low E, B, G, high E, B, G, B, low E, B, G, high E, B, G, B. So just to try that on your verse, you'd have the G with the arpeggio, D with the arpeggio, kind of breaking up the chords, C with the arpeggio, with the A bass, D with the D bass, G with the low E bass, D with the D bass, C with the A bass, D with the D bass, but then you go back to C with the A bass, D bass for the D, and then G major, and then E minor with the low E bass, and then C major with the A bass, D with the D bass, and then you be back to the G with the low E bass, D with the D bass, C with the A bass, D with the D bass, and then you basically be starting that all over again. One other really cool thing that kind of, and then, then we're back on our verse. So you got G with low E bass, D with the D bass, C with the A bass, D with the D bass, G with low E bass, D with the D bass, C with the A bass, D with the D bass, but then we go back to C with the A bass, D with the D bass, G with the low E bass, E minor with the low E bass, C with the A bass, D with the D bass. And then at the end of that second verse, then you kind of hang out on the G major twice. So we got G major to kind of lead into the bridge. So then you got your bridge with the C with the A bass, D with the D bass, G with the low E bass, E minor with the low E bass, C with the A bass, D with the D bass, C with the A bass, and then kind of a big D, which you can do as a strum, or you could even just take your fingers kind of lined up D, G, B, and E on the D chord, and kind of do them all at the same time. And then you basically be starting those all over again. One other thing that kind of comes in from the very, very beginning of the tune is that awesome, awesome intro lead part. And then if you want to play that part, you start 10th fret on the B string, and we kind of do a bend on that. So I'm kind of pressing into the guitar and up at the same time. So you start 10th fret bend on the B string, and then you go 8th fret on the B string, and then you go back to 10th fret on the B. And then you do that same bend again. So you do 10 bend, and then 8 on the B, but then we go to 9th fret on the G. And then we do the 10th fret bend again, 10th fret bend, 8. But then we go back to the 10 on the B string, and then high E7, and then high E8. And then you could take 10th fret on the high E and do a bend on 10th fret on the high E. And then kind of play 10 straight up. So you got 10 bend, 8, 10 bend, or 10 bend, 8, now on the G. 10 bend, 8, 10, 7 on the high E, 8 on the high E, 10 bend on the high E, 10. So if you want to add that in, that could be kind of a cool thing to kind of intro the tune, because most people recognize that. But that's basically how you would play Wonderful Tonight by Eric Clapton. So good luck!